Is the honeymoon truly over for Eddie Brock in his alien costume? Well, let's hop into the pages of Venom issue number 12 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, so at the end of the previous issue, we were hit with the bombshell that Eddie Brock is a not-so-proud papa to Dylan. Who's the mother? Well, Annie, of course. We see one cold and rainy night, Annie dropped the kid off with Eddie's dad, her own mind having gone to pieces after fusing with the Venom symbiote. In fact, they kinda seek to imply Dylan's birth is some kind of immaculate symbiote conception. Is he symbiote Jesus? You gotta tell me if he's symbiote Jesus. Now, back in the present, Eddie is putting himself through a hellish procedure to try and separate himself from the symbiote once and for all. The Maker isn't sure this plan will work and that he might just kill them both while trying. Not that he has a problem with that, mind you. Ultimately, the Clintar costume chooses to leave of its own accord and makes a giant mess on its way out. Where exactly is it going with such a speed? Well, it seems to want to try and track down Dylan, who's been taken back by his abusive grandfather. His experience with Eddie, though, did open his eyes a fair amount. He says that as much as his grandfather might hate his own son, at least Eddie doesn't pretend to be something he's not. It's at that point, too, the alien costume actually manages to track the car down. Brock Sr. obviously assumes that this is his son seeking revenge for what he's done to Dylan, but the truth is actually a lot stranger. Yes, indeed, the symbiote does hope to punish Brock Sr., but it does so by actually creating a mental image in his head wherein Eddie tells him off. Basically, like the suit carried Eddie's own will out with him, and hey, in a nice bit of visual poetry, this scene takes place in the exact same police interrogation room wherein Brock Sr. made Eddie lie all those years ago. Eddie says that if he truly was the monster that his father keeps saying he was, there'd be nothing stopping him from killing him, which he kinda wants to do, but he is aware that it is the wrong thing to do. He's trying to grow, he's trying to change, and forgiveness is a pretty good place to start. This also causes Brock Sr. to open up in a way we haven't seen up until this point. He's a lot more human and relatable, saying that Eddie wasn't always a bad kid. He used to go to church, he used to help people. The father then asks the son if he even believes in God anymore, only for Eddie to respond, "Oh, I met God, he's an asshole." The symbiote suit then actually carries Dylan all the way back to the hospital where Eddie is free from the Maker's machine, the Maker himself and all of his henchmen having seemingly been beaten up off panel. Eddie's very happy to be reunited with the boy he now knows to be his son, although he's yet to have that conversation with him, and can you blame him? That's going to be really, really awkward. And what of the Clintar suit? Well, it actually takes its leave, saying that Dylan and Eddie will be better off without him, and I mean, really, they have every reason in the world to be mad at it. So perhaps maybe it's time that the Clintar suit walks the earth like Kane from Kung Fu, gets into some adventures and learns some lessons, and hey, what better time to do so than the War of Realms, which is coming next. And so that was Venom issue number 12, everybody, and while I felt that it brought this newest arc to a satisfying close, it was ultimately a little thinner than some of the other stories we've had. We are definitely entering a very interesting time in the life of Eddie Brock and his relationship to his alien costume. It is just a shame that the Maker, who seemed more or less to be the villain of this arc, was defeated off panel. It is pretty clever for Donny Cates to show us an Eddie Brock who is more alone than he's ever been in his life, having lost the Venom suit once again, but also giving him a son, so he's alone but not alone. Also, I made a joke about alien symbiote Jesuses and Dylan early on, but honestly, I think keep an eye on this kid because he is clearly going to be super important, probably for this book and for the Absolute Carnage series that's going to be starting in the future. Overall, I'd feel comfortable giving this issue a 7 out of 10.
Oh hey there, didn't see you come in. Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. What am I doing? Just trying to keep these outros interesting, I guess. Judging by my analytics, most of you don't actually watch to this point of the video anyway, so I'm basically free to talk about whatever I want. Show off my new sweaters that I'm really proud of. Just, you know, wax poetic, telling you to follow me on Twitter at Cape Joel, follow me at Facebook. Cape Joel, I got a page there. You can keep up to date on stuff that's going on there. You can talk to me directly. That's always fun. I got an Instagram page that I don't push enough. I got a backup channel, the Joel Daily channel, where I do video game stuff, if what you're interested is that. I get the feeling most people just watch me for my comic content, but you know, I figure maybe if I put more work into these outros, make them a little bit more interesting, maybe more people will watch them and talk about them and follow me on social media. That would be nice. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Oh, and Comic Smack, yeah. Man, I really stayed married to that, didn't I?